federal health workers are scrambling to monitor people who may have had exposure to the Ebola virus. Meanwhile, the president used his weekly address to urge the public not to panic. TV 1055's Matt Kozar reports.
This is a serious disease, but we can't give in to hysteria or fear.
In his weekly radio address, President Barack Obama urged Americans to remain calm during this Ebola crisis. The president says he refuses to ban travel from West Africa because it could make the situation worse. But more than 50 lawmakers, mostly Republicans, say restricting travel is the safe thing to do.
Air travel is, in fact, how this disease crosses borders. And it's certainly how it got to Texas in the first place.
On Friday, the president appointed former White House advisor Ron Klain as the nation's Ebola czar. Klain served as Vice President Joe Biden's chief of staff.
What we were looking for is not an Ebola expert, but rather an implementation expert. And that's exactly what Ron Klain is.
On Saturday, friends and family of Thomas Eric Duncan held a memorial service in North Carolina. Duncan died from Ebola at a Dallas hospital. 2 nurses who cared for him now had the virus. 26-year-old Nina Pham and 29-year-old Amber Vinson are in quarantine as doctors treat them. In Ohio, where Vinson traveled before she was diagnosed, more than 100 people are being monitored for Ebola symptoms.
This is an ever-evolving, ever-changing scenario.
In Texas, a hospital lab worker who may have handled Duncan's lab samples boarded a Carnival cruise ship. That worker is in self-isolation as a precaution and is said to be healthy. The World Health Organization will soon release a review of how the agency has handled the Ebola crisis, but a leaked internal memo shows agency officials admit mistakes were made. In the newsroom, Matt Kozar, TV 1055.